Juliet Blake brought the book to me. I heard about the book. We thought it would be a fantastic thing to partner with DreamWorks. The idea of being able to work with Steven again, I'd always carried that inside myself, just to do anything. You know, when I was auditioning for The Color Purple, I never expected to be in it, but I would have been happy just to carry his script, to carry water, to do anything to work with him. So I felt that it was something that the two of us would be interested in, that story of the family moving itself and being able to speak to not just what it means to be a family, but what it means to be a family of the world.
Anybody who gets out of a chair and makes some kind of an effort to walk across the street to meet someone that they've always wanted to meet or to say hello to someone they're afraid of, it takes effort to get out of your chair. And that 100-foot journey represents everything that we go through, whether it has to do with food or love or children or friendship. You have to make an effort.
Yeah.
You have to walk a distance in order to achieve something of value for yourself. I thought that Stephen Knight, who wrote the screenplay, who adapted the book, on paper it was a cinematic journey. I mean, the way he described the food, the way he described felt lush, and the ambience of that countryside, that amazing, French countryside.
Oh my God! When I was there, when I was there, it's like something you dreamed. Right. I thought how fantastic. You're talking about creating a family, but how fantastic that the film family gets to actually work in that atmosphere, right. And it wasn't just like a Hollywood backlight or something. Right, that it was the real deal.
It was. They shot it where it happened, where it happened in Stephen Wright's imagination. Then when Lasse Hallström came on board to direct the picture, and with his incredible sort of knowledge and grasp of cinema.
Why did you want it to be him?
Well, for one thing, I still love, one of my favorite movies of all time is My Life as a Dog.
Ooh,
and I have been a fan of Lasse's from the beginning of his life as a filmmaker. And of course, so many other movies that he's made, like Chocolat. Lasse has is a stickler for the details. And what really turns him on as an artist, as a filmmaker, is finding those little asides that aren't central to the screenplay, that isn't the theme of the scene he's shooting, but it's something that a child does in the background. It's a little smile that the younger brother gives to Hassan, his older brother.
Yes.
It's those little details that I knew that Lasse, from his other work, was going to pepper, if I can use a...
Yeah.
Although pepper is, you don't put pepper on everything.
Yes, no.
But he was going to season the movie with
that's
all these little sort of nuances and details, and was going to make the movie even more special than it was on the page.
That's a perfect analogy, I think, because that's exactly what you feel when you finish the film. It meant exactly what he said, that it brings back a fondness and memories and a feeling of being nurtured and supported and loved. So when he says that, it means every bite makes me think of being loved.
Whenever I eat mashed potatoes, not exactly what you would call the haute couture of cuisine.
No.
But whenever I eat mashed potatoes, and I can indulge myself and drench it in melted butter, it takes me back to being 7 and 8 years old, which is exactly how my mom made the mashed potatoes, right next to her pot roast. That the mashed potatoes was like a volcano. She would actually take the mashed potatoes, stick them in the plate, smash down the top, and then ladle in the butter in the top. And we're not even talking about the gravy now. We're just talking about the butter.
Yeah.
And so that is, for me, that mouthful, that memory that just brings me right back home again.
That takes you home.
Yeah. At a time when I could eat anything I wanted to eat back in those old days.
Yeah.
A serious movie with a tremendous sense of humor, which is something that Stephen Knight brought to it, It's something that that the casting and the cast brought to it,
Absolutely.
and it's certainly something that Lasse continued to.
But he's seasoned throughout.
Yes, yes, he seasoned it throughout. It's not a comedy. We're not selling it as a comedy, but there's some lovely lightness
What are
to
we
so
calling
much
it?
of the
What
movie.
what are we calling
I
it?
don't think it fits into a genre.
That's
I
what's so
don't-
wonderful about
That's what's
it.
good about it. Yeah.
This is what's so great about it. It's a first date movie. It's safe to go as a first date. You're not going to be embarrassed, but yet it's stimulating and entertaining and fun. And you can also take your family.
Yeah.
I mean, when does that happen
Yeah,
anymore?
No, it's a lovely family story. It really is, and it's something that I'm very proud, and I can't wait to show my family. Well, Charlotte Le Bon was someone who I had seen. A French casting director had just mentioned her name to us, but I went on YouTube and I saw a French daytime variety show where a couple days a week she would come out and do the weather
Wow.
in outlandish costumes, sometimes painting her face gold or silver, and coming
Wow.
out with red fright wigs and coming out with a clown's nose. And she came out and did a comedy weather riff on this daytime French show, a variety show. And I realized anybody that beautiful that can be that funny, that is a souffle.
Yes.
And we had to get that souffle in the souffle. And I also think the great aspect of the story is the
Wow.
chemistry.
They look like a family.
They look
don't
like
they?
a complete real
They
family.
really do.
And Manish doesn't look, but Manish very much is Om's son.
Yes.
There is something on camera and off camera that really bonded those two actors.
I think it's him going to Om's house and Om cooking and Om, well, not Om's house, but Om cooking every weekend and them sitting around the table and creating, traditional Indian food
Sure.
and being together as a family and as a, father figure
Right.
that really helped mesh that.
It did, and I think he learned a lot from him, how to prepare
Yes.
some of the meals.
I will say this, the movie's so personal that I think everybody experiences something different depending on where you are with your own personal emotions, but also, foodies are going to love it, and people who are just looking for a love story are going to love it, and people who are interested in a really wonderful story about what that means to take that journey are going to love it. I could not believe that when I saw it for the first, I've only seen it once so far. I could not believe all the way through because I was looking at dailies, but I could not believe how emotional it was for me. I couldn't. I was thinking, okay, now you've seen every daily, and now you're sitting here crying. Come on, Oprah. But I did.
Right. Oh, it got to me emotionally big time when I first saw it. I was very, very moved. I was immediately looking for a phone to call Lasse because I just wanted to. I
Yes.
wanted to reach out to Lasse and to Stephen Knight, the author and also the author of the book, because I think it was just a beautiful handoff from book to script to director.
Yeah.
And so I was choked up when I would talk to Lasse. When he heard my voice, I was a little bit undone by the end of the movie. But it's
Because lots of movies you go to and you think, oh well, the book was better.
Yeah.
You don't feel that at all. You're right. It's a perfect handoff.
It's a really-
the book
yeah.
was, the script was, and the movie is.
and then it's kind of old fashioned in a good way. It's a real story.
Yeah.
It's not just a series of vignettes or trying to exploit cooking to make it look sexy or erotic or actiony. It really is a narrative, a very clear chapter 1. Then chapter 2 happens.
Yeah.
Then here comes chapter 3. We
The
can't
beautiful
wait for
arc.
chapter 4.
Yeah.
And it peaks exactly where you hope it will.
Yeah.
And it falls off exactly when you want it to. And that's the thing I loved about the way the script and the
I
directing
think that's a
orchestrated
great
it.
description. Stephen, that's perfect. It's old-fashioned in a really good way.
In a good way, it's
like a
old-fashioned.
real
Yeah.
movie that, we used to get up and go to the movies and go see that fills you up and you come out with a really great feeling and you want to tell your friends about it in a good way. Well, I think that's called good directing.
I think it's called good cooking. This experience of Oprah and I co-producing the 100-Foot Journey is for me a dream come true because it's the first time Oprah and I have worked together since 1985. Wow. Because all the times that I've done your show,
Yes.
that's not working together.
No.
That's like being in your living room.
Yes.
That's like being a guest in your home.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
But we had a chance to put our creative energies together in a very compatible way to find a way to tell this story about compatibility amongst people that you would never imagine could even be compatible, whether it's love or food. Well, I had the idea very early on that I just imagined Helen Mirren playing Madame Mallory. I couldn't get that image out of my mind.
And he's Steven Spielberg, so he can get that to happen.
But well, you can if the actor's available and if
Yes.
they like the script.
Yes.
You know.
But when I even heard that we're reaching out to Helen Mirren, I was like, okay, well, if you get Helen Mirren, you're on the way to getting a movie.
We get a serious movie now.
Yeah.
I wasn't there on location. Oprah was on location, and I was here. I was watching dailies every day, as
Yeah.
Oprah was. And I was always terrified of the phone ringing to say that somebody lost the tip of a finger.
Yeah.
I had this horrible vision
Really?
that during some of the cooking
Yes,
scenes,
that somebody's going to...
okay, the expert turns the knife over
Yeah.
to the actor,
And there it
and
is.
the actor lops off a part of their finger. I mean, I lived in fear of this moment happening. On the last day of shooting, I was so relieved that never happened.